Okay, y'all, I'm here. I'm back with another review of the Real Housewives of Dallas Season 5 episode. I do not know. It will be in the description bar. Okay, so as y'all know, I didn't do a review last week because, I had a lot of shit going on last week. I didn't do anything. Alright, so where we pick up this episode is where we left off last episode, which is, and I want to also say before I get into it, Dallas, Bravo Andy, stop using this race thing as a to be continued situation because I'm fucking tired of it. But anyway, so last week, all of the girls was having a conversation, and then Brandy says to Tiffany, well, I pretty much feel uncomfortable around you, and I don't really know what to do. And, Miss Dr. Tiffany went on a nice little, I think she was like, look, I don't really have a problem with you. I think you're a great dancer. I think you're funny. I think you're a great mom. I think all of this. So what do you think about me? And then it said to be continued. So when we get back, so where we start off, like I said, where we left off. And again, what did Brandy say to her? Brandy didn't really say anything when she said that. I don't remember what she said when she said that. She was like, so what do you think of me? That's what Dr. Tiffany said. And so, Brandy is just like, well, I'm not really sure. I just feel like I can't really tell you anything. And shout out to Dr. Tiffany for her confessional. Because pretty much what she said is that you being uncomfortable about my pretty much pure existence is nothing that I can help you with. I am Asian. I cannot change that. Your own insecurities, that's pretty much what you're projecting on me. And I'll even appreciate Carrie. I appreciate everybody for recognizing that that is what was going on. Brandy, you have your own demons and issues and guilt that you feel, and you are projecting that onto Dr. Tiffany, okay? And I don't know if Dr. Tiffany was picked specifically because of what happened, and so that Bravo Andy and them could get this type of tension going. I would hope that that's not the reason why they picked her, but it's starting to feel like that's what kind of happened with Bravo. But I don't fucking know for sure. She could have been talking about being on the show a long time ago. I don't really know. But point of the matter is, even Stephanie, her best friend, said in her confessional that you are projecting and putting it on Tiffany when it's not on her. Like Tiffany said, I can't help the fact that I'm Asian, okay? You made your statements. I had a conversation with you and I told you that I'm cool with it. But you don't want to let it go for your own self. So you now are projecting towards me and saying that there's something that I'm doing wrong when that's not it at all. So of course Dr. Tiffany is, a little bit in her feelings because she's like what the fuck? Like I can't, when it comes to Dr. Tiffany, she can't do anything right for you hoes. And it's very, very frustrating as a viewer. So I can only imagine how it feels for Dr. Tiffany. It's very annoying, okay? So then all of the girls go, whatever, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go jump in a lake or whatever. So they jump in a lake, but as soon as they do, Tiffany gets out and she runs out and she's crying. Now, at first I didn't really understand what happened until she explained it later, which we'll get to. She runs into the house and she's crying and everybody's like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And after everybody leaves, she's having a conversation with Deandra, pretty much telling her like, I'm just trying so hard to fit in with these girls and it feels like nothing is working. And I have said this before, I will continuously say every episode, Dr. Tiffany, you do not need to fit in with these group of girls. As far as I'm concerned, the majority of them can't even touch your damn hem. They can't even touch your hem. There's no reason for you to feel insecure, for you to feel like you have to fit in with these girls. Either they like you or you don't. It seems like to me the majority of them are assholes and are picking on you for no reason, okay? Specifically Carrie is picking on you for no fucking reason. Like, I'm glad y'all cleaned it up this episode, but I'm just saying, they are nitpicking with you. And I don't like the fact that she feels that she has to do all of this shit that's outside of her character to fit in with these women when they're not that important. None of these women are so important that you need to change who you are as a person to fit in with them. They're not the greatest people in the world. A lot of them are assholes. A lot of them are stuck up. A lot of them are so steeped, Brandy, deep in your privilege that they don't even give a fuck about nobody that's outside of their bubble. And like Dr. Tiffany did say, and even Brandy's husband did say later, you are technically an outsider when it comes to this group. Not just because you weren't on this show, but because you're not a white woman, because you didn't, because, you're not necessarily, quote unquote from old money or even the new money that they got. You're not necessarily ingrained into the Dallas social light whatever situation that they got going on there. So you are an outsider, and that is okay. Fuck them. except Deandra. Fuck them. The fuck? So, so she was just saying pretty much how she wanted to be fun. So then we get up everybody gets up the next morning and realizes that Dr. Tiffany is gone, okay? And then when this episode's real quick, short to the point. I ain't got a lot of notes because to me not a lot happened. So when we go over to Dr. Tiffany's house with her and her husband, and he was like, well, you got back kind of early. And she was like, well, yeah, I just missed you so much. He said, bullshit, like, what happened? So she pretty much tells him that pretty much what happened the night before, and that she pretty much left early for her own peace of mind. And I'm just like, see, you as white women, y'all don't understand how taxing and exhausting micro and macro aggressions are to people like who are like not white or whatever. It's very exhausting. And I forgot what I put on my Twitter, but I think I put on my Twitter saying pretty much like, as a non-white person, it is exhausting. I mean, exhausting to on a daily not only have to deal with people projecting their own insecurities onto you, but also it's very fucking exhausting that you feel like you now have to coddle other people because they're uncomfortable about you and your existence. And Brandy, that's where the problem is coming in with everybody. You are the one who offended Tiffany. Not even Tiffany, but Asian people, period. But you're sitting on this TV and you want us to pretty much, as the viewership, to, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, to coddle you and to say, oh, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Pretty much what Stephanie is doing to you, that's what you expect the rest of us to do. And it does not work like that. It is not, who said this? It's not the job of the oppressor to comfort the oppressed. It does not work like that. You did what you did, sit in it, and instead of you going around and projecting your insecurities on Tiffany, which is making the situation even worse and your situation even worse, why don't you just continuously shut your mouth and sit there with what the fuck is going on? So before we get over to Brandy and her husband, this is before everybody goes back home, everybody is outside talking, and they're all pretty much telling Brandy, you were wrong. And I appreciate this part. I will say I appreciate this from every single last one of the women, including Carrie, that I can't really speak. I think maybe Cam said too. So I appreciate all of the women for this part when they said, it was clear, Brandy, that you have your own guilt going on. And instead of you just dealing with that internally, like Deandra said, your husband, your kids, can't nobody help you with that but you. You instead took that time to pretty much project your own problems onto Tiffany, somebody who you have already offended. You are now doing double offensive. It's just a little bit too much for me. So of course, like I said, back to Dr. Tiffany, and she said she's tired pretty much of having to defend herself. It is ridiculous that Dr. Tiffany has every single episode, and I will say I appreciate some of the girls recognizing that since Dr. Tiffany has been in this group, every single time y'all get together, somebody's pointing something out about her, and she has to defend herself, and it be over the stupidest shit. Y'all nitpicking with this woman, like I've been saying on this camera. Y'all nitpicking with her. And then for her to have to deal with the racist element on top of that, it's fucking exhausting. So you know what? You're absolutely right. I really don't want to have to be around you. I'm going to get my shit and I'm going to go home. I'm not mad at her at all for that. Not mad at her at all for that. So then we go over to Brandy or whatever. And, she's talking to her husband about what's going on and stuff. And, she was like, well, to be quite honest, I just really think that Dr. Tiffany is boring. Okay, that's fine. This is my thing, Brandy. You can think that she's boring. There's nothing wrong with that. But my question is, why then when y'all were sitting at the table, why didn't you just fucking say that? And so my thing is, let me pause. So you would prefer to tell her that her being pretty much in general, that her being Asian is making you uncomfortable, but you don't have the balls to tell her, well, in our reality, I just think that you're boring. Why didn't you come out your mouth and say, here's the thing, Dr. Tiffany, I have some feelings about you, but I personally feel some type of way about the shit that I have said, so I don't want to come off offensive. And the reason why I kind of understand that from Randy is because it's the same thing with the women on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and they asked on the reunion of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, are a lot of y'all not saying what y'all want to say because Garcella's bad? Oh, no, I'm not scared. Oh, no, I'm not scared. I will say this. The women on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills were not as scared as like Brandy is, but y'all all are towing a line. And it boggles my mind because it's like, get it that y'all probably feel like I don't want to say anything because it's going to come off as racist. But if you just tell your truth, then it just is what it is. People are going to think what they want to think regardless. So, Brandy, sitting at that table, what you should have said to her is, I am personally a little bit uncomfortable with expressing my feelings to you because I still have a little bit of anxiety and guilt. You know, I don't want anything to come off the wrong way when I'm telling you how I feel. And then you could have said, to be quite honest, I do feel like you a little boring. I see that you're trying, but in my opinion, you're just a little boring or whatever. You could have just said that. Dr. Tiffany herself has said that she is trying to be more fun and she understands that she's very stoic and pretty much boring. She said that. So it's very, I don't get it, Brandy. I just don't fucking get it. It's like typical white women shenanigans, and I be trying not to take it there, but it's typical. I do the offending, but now let everybody come and try to coddle me. That's how it comes off, Brandy. Maybe that's not how you really feel, but that's how it's coming off. Point blank, period. And so then she reads some fucking letter that she wrote to herself. I'm sorry, Brandy, I'm not a believer. But not one tear dropped. Not one tear dropped. I looked and I paused at your eyes. It wasn't watery at all. Like people said, I don't really think that you're upset about what you said. You're upset that you got caught. And it just is what the fuck it is. But I don't want to hear the storyline no more. Past next week, I don't want to continuously hear about Brandy being a rehabilitated race, whatever the fuck it is that she said. I don't want to hear about it no more because I don't think it's cute to use that as a storyline, and I damn sure don't think it's cute to use an Asian woman to try to fucking further your damn storyline. Bravo and Andy Yard just as trash to me for pretty much using Dr. Tiffany this season as a fucking punching bag for not only Brandy but for everybody else on this damn show. I'm fed up, y'all. Because the way they treat Dr. Tiffany, it's beyond me. And it really just shows again the micro and macro aggressions that a person who is not white, we have to deal with constantly. And also to pretty much be told that we're to fucking blame for you and you being uncomfortable. Do you know how many times that I have had to pretty much make myself uncomfortable to make another white person comfortable because they feel uncomfortable? Are you serious right now? I'm so fucking fed up. Then we go to Stephanie and Carrie's daughter, and they're having a conversation. Like I said, I can only deal with Carrie when I see her daughter. And apparently Carrie's storyline this year is her daughter just like Lisa Rinna. What? Hold on. Now that I think about it, what the fuck is up with y'all using y'all kids for storylines? Because Lisa Rinna did the same thing on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She used her daughter and what she was going through as a storyline. Now you're using your daughter and what she's going through as a storyline. This show is not about the children. Yes, let's be clear. I am really happy that girl did not take her life, and I really was happy that Stephanie was able to be there and give her the help that she needed, and I am glad that she has a supportive mother. Let me not take that out of context. However, this is not the Real Housewives. The same thing, giving you the real tea said about whatever Meredith's son's name, Brooks or whatever. Like, it's not the Brooks show. This is not the Carrie daughter show. Just like it wasn't Lisa Rinna's daughter show. This is about y'all. But y'all don't be having nothing going on. So y'all use y'all kids. But I peep. So then we go on to Deandra and Mama D or whatever. And, they're having a conversation because Deandra's about to throw the little shaman party, whatever. So I don't even care about that conversation they had about the shaman. Deandra sits there and she tells her mama, because as we all know, Mama D knows Dr. Tiffany from the first episode, if you realize that they know each other. And she explains to her, she's like, yeah, I just feel like a lot of the girls are kind of doing a lot, and, they're kind of mean, and they kind of, they're kind of doing a lot, and, her mom was like, well, I mean, she's a whole doctor, like, she's stressed out. And Deandra's like, I mean, but we're all stressed. And her mom was like, not like her. Everything Deandra's mom said in that part was true, and it's everything I've been saying. First of all, it's not the same fucking thing. You're talking about a doctor who has to worry about saving people's lives. It's not the same thing as y'all being stressed out about, like Kim was talking about later in the episode. Oh my gosh, like, this is what I have to deal with, like, with the moving and the furniture and all of this. That's what she's trying to say. And then what else did she say? She was like, Mama D, she was like, y'all don't even work. Like, what are, I don't even understand, because the majority of y'all don't even work. All y'all really fucking do is sit there and y'all shop all damn fucking day. And when you're responsible for people, it's different. It's different. When you're responsible for people's lives, it's a different type of stress that none of you women will understand. And I appreciate that Deandra caught herself and said, you wanna know what? You're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And then the her mom was like, they're jealous. Now Deandra was like, my mom think everybody's jealous of everybody. But no, I really do think that a lot of them are jealous of Dr. Tiffany. And I watched the live with Andy Cohen afterwards, where they had Deandra and Carrie up there, and he did like a "Are you jealous or not?" game. And one of the questions were, "Are you jealous of Dr. Tiffany's education?" Deandra said yes, and Carrie said yes, because y'all are. I've been fucking saying this. I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. A lot of them, a lot of those women, they are jealous of Dr. Tiffany. They're jealous of the fact that she is smart, that she's a doctor, that she makes her own money, and she doesn't have to sit up here and wait for her husband to approve or disapprove of some shit. That's why y'all are really jealous. Let's just call a spade a spade. Y'all are jealous of that woman. Of that woman. And what y'all do is go around and nitpick everything little here and there to make her feel bad about herself. And that's the shit that's fucking pissing me off about this show. Y'all are going around and making this woman, because y'all are insecure about what y'all got going on. Cam, you don't have any type of business. You don't have no fucking business. Your entire storyline is behind a fucking dog. You don't have a storyline. All you do is sit around the damn house. Now come to find out, your husband got that money from his damn parents. I mean, he works, so I'll give him that. But a lot of his money comes from his parents. Shout out to one of my people who watched my review who told me that. So I'm just a little bit confused. You're complaining about that. I mean, like I said, you're projecting your insecurities onto Stephanie because you don't got nothing going on, and you got to sit up there and wait for your husband to give you money. Carrie, you're projecting your own insecurities because you don't have a fucking job anymore. Okay, you barely had a job as is, and your whole life you have even said yourself you have lived off the back of your damn husbands. Okay. Stephanie, I like Stephanie, so I ain't gonna go too hard on her. But to me, Stephanie, you are just now starting to put your own foot into getting your own shit. You have the same story as the rest of these hoes, which is that you're all relying on your husband's money. I really think that y'all are mad about the fact that Dr. Tiffany is more independent than all of y'all. Very much so independent. Put it like this: what Dr. Tiffany has as far as independence, that's what every single last one of y'all is trying to get. That's why Stephanie is trying to do her own foundation. That's why Carrie is trying to start her own jewelry business line. And that's why she even told her daughter, I don't know if it was this season or last season, that like you need to have your own money. I think that y'all see what y'all want in Tiffany, and it bothers the shit out of y'all. It bothers y'all to the pits of y'all soul, which is why y'all treat her the way y'all fucking do. Okay, then we have Carrie and Tiffany. I mean, Carrie and, yeah, Dr. Tiffany. They sit down together or whatever. And Dr. Tiffany explains the reason why she got upset is because she said, the minute that water hit my face, I realized I'm doing some shit that I really don't want to do. I really should have just said to y'all, that's not really my forte. That's not really something I want to do. But instead, I allowed myself to just do whatever to be cool with y'all. And I appreciate the fact that Dr. Tiffany is recognizing that you don't have to do that. They're not that important, sis. They're not. They're not. Don't change yourself for somebody else. And then Carrie, of course, goes on, well, it was rude for you to leave. Okay, I hear you, Carrie. She probably should have said something about leaving. But at the same time, like, y'all don't really give a fuck about Dr. Tiffany. Let's be real. None of y'all really care about her. Y'all don't like her. Y'all pretty much said that y'all do not like her for all of the reasons I just explained. So who really cares? But they kissed and made up and hugged and shit like that. And I think Carrie said she's going to throw Dr. Tiffany a party or some shit like that. So that's where we end, y'all. I'm fed up. Every week I gotta come on here and curse y'all out about not treating Dr. Tiffany correctly. It's annoying.